Welcome to my YouTube video. Today we'll explore Nassim Taleb's concept of fragility. In Taleb's world of risk and uncertainty, fragility plays a crucial role. I'll simplify it with real examples and easy to understand explanations. So, fragility, according to Taleb, is a quality that makes something vulnerable to harm or damage when it encounters unexpected events or shocks. Think of it as the opposite of resilience. Fragile things are like a delicate glassware, sensitive to changes, and even small shocks can lead to significant harm or damage. To illustrate this concept, Taleb uses the example of a coffee cup. Picture an ordinary coffee cup sitting on a table. It's sturdy, right? But if you were to tap it gently, nothing happens. It doesn't break. Tap a little harder, and still it remains intact. However, there's a point where a bit more force causes it to shatter. Fragility is akin to that vulnerability, the point at which even a small additional shock can lead to a catastrophic outcome. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Taleb emphasizes that fragility is closely tied to nonlinearity. In simple terms, this means that as the intensity or magnitude of a shock increases, the harm or damage it causes doesn't increase proportionally. Instead, it accelerates. Imagine a graph where the x-axis represents the magnitude of the shock and the y-axis represents the harm caused. Instead of a straight line, it's a curve that steepens as you move to the right. In other words, the bigger the shock, the more damage it does. Disproportionately so. For example, when the stock market drops by 1%, it might result in $1 million loss. But if it drops to 2%, the loss isn't just like another $1 million. It might be 5 million. This acceleration of harm is a hallmark of fragility, and it applies not only to financial markets but also to various aspects of our lives. Taleb also emphasizes the importance of second order effects. These are consequences that go beyond simple averages and are often the result of unexpected interactions or reactions to events. For instance, think of a supply chain. If a company consumes 0 resources for 1 year and 200 units the next year, it might face more significant challenges than a company that consumes 100 units in both years. These secondary effects can magnify the impact of shocks and make systems more fragile. Let's consider a real life example, the COVID-19 pandemic. Initially, there were supply chain disruptions leading to shortage of various goods, but the second order effects included widespread economic ramifications, job losses, and shifts in consumer behavior. These secondary effects had far-reaching consequences beyond the immediate health crisis. To further simplify this concept, Taleb points out a fascinating relationship. If you like uncertainty or volatility, you are also more likely to be attracted to time, shocks, stressors, and entropy. These are all related because they bring about unpredictability. Think of them as a solar brothers of unpredictability moving together. If you like one, you tend to like them all. For example, the financial world often involves uncertainty, volatility, and risk. Traders who thrive in this environment are essentially betting on unpredictable events. They embrace uncertainty and even see it as an opportunity to profit. However, this attraction to volatility and unpredictability also means that they may be more fragile when things don't go as expected. Lastly, Taleb introduced the idea that size can be a source of fragility. He gives the example of a large stone versus a small one. If someone were to throw a large stone at him, it could cause significant harm. However, if you were to throw a small stone, it wouldn't have the same impact. The relationship between size and damage is non-linear. Consider this in this business world. Large corporations may seem stable and powerful, but they can be more fragile in the face of unexpected challenges. A small company, on the other hand, might adapt more quickly and be less vulnerable to economic shocks. This is because size can magnify the consequences of unexpected events. In summary, Nassim Taleb's concept of fragility is all about understanding how systems, organizations, and even individuals respond to unexpected events or shocks. Fragile entities are sensitive to changes, and their response is nonlinear, meaning that as the intensity of a shock increases, the harm or damage accelerates. Second order effects can further amplify the impact of these shocks. It's essential to recognize that fragility isn't limited to just one domain. It applies to various aspects of our lives, from financial markets to supply chains and even our personal resilience. This concept has profound implications for how we navigate uncertainty and risk in our world. Understanding fragility can help us build more robust systems, make better decisions, and be better prepared for the unexpected. So, the next time you encounter a coffee cup, remember that it's not just a vessel for your morning brew, it's a lesson in the delicate balance between fragility and resilience in our complex world. Thank you.